up, B7? It's Beverly, and I don't know if you noticed, but I don't look like Pastor Micah. He's not here today, but that's all right, because you and we're gonna have a fantastic time. So glad to have you here and joining me in this time. Let's get to work. I do have a question for you. If you could do anything on your perfect weekend, what would it be? For me, my perfect weekend requires me to do absolutely nothing. Shh, do you hear that? Nothing. I wanna do nothing. I wanna make sure that by 5 p.m. on a Friday, I don't have anything going on. I wanna make sure that from that moment, that 5 p.m. on a Friday to at least 8 a.m. on a Monday, I got nothing going on. But in order for me to do that, I have to make sure that I got some things taken care of through the week. So that means that throughout the week, my laundry's gotta get done. I gotta make sure my dishes are done and clean. I gotta make sure my house is clean. And the only way I can enjoy my freedom of doing absolutely nothing requires me to make sure that I get my work done during the week so it's not looming over my head on Saturday and Sunday. So for you, again, what is your perfect weekend? So here's the issue. Because of Jesus, we have the opportunity and the freedom to do whatever we want. But sometimes with our freedoms, we can make really bad decisions, or we can make really good decisions. No matter what decision we make, all of them not only affect us, but affect the people around us. So if you make a bad decision, then you're making room to make another bad decision on top of another bad decision on top of another bad decision. And before you know it, you're making so many bad decisions, you don't even know how you even got there. And on the flip side, sometimes we make really great decisions. And when we make those great decisions, we stack great decisions on top of great decisions on top of great decisions. And before you know it, we're also asking the same question. How did I even get here? To have all of these fantastic things happen for me, it's because we use our freedoms correctly. But sometimes when we use our freedoms incorrectly, they can harm other people. And so when we make mistakes, we sometimes feel judged, and nobody likes feeling judged. But the world judges us because they expect Christians to be a particular way. But when it comes to judgment, maybe you've been receiving or have been judged for choices that you've already made. Or maybe you're using your freedom to judge others. Or maybe you're not quite sure about this whole Jesus thing, and so you've been watching other people make judgments about Christians, and you're kind of battling on whether or not if this faith is for you. But ultimately, when we use our freedoms to judge, we waste our freedoms. So here's the real. In Paul's letter to the Galatians, but back up just a second, who's Paul? Paul wrote most of the New Testament, and he was writing a letter to the churches in a particular area called Galatia. Now, here's what you got to know about Paul. Paul knew about freedom more than anybody. You get arrested as many times as he did, you'd understand. But the thing about what he was writing to them about was to make sure that they weren't taking advantage of their freedoms. Remember how I talked about how I like to spend my entire weekends doing absolutely nothing? Well, these people were using their freedoms to be unkind to other people. But we understand that we can either be nice to people or we can be unkind. And when you use your freedoms to be unkind to other people, you're using your freedoms for the wrong thing. Paul explained that the goal of faith and freedom is to love others. Galatians 5:13 through 15 reads, "For you have been called in freedom, my brothers and sisters. But don't use your freedom to satisfy your sinful nature. Instead, use your freedom to serve one another in love. For the whole law can be summed up in this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. But if you are always biting and devouring one another, watch out. Beware of destroying one another. So what does all of that mean? Well, we either have to uplift others or we judge others. Those are our two opposites. And when you are judging others, that's not showing love. And God calls us to love one another. So the goal is to love people, not judge people. So how does this apply to us? Well, I'm thinking back at a moment where I used to judge people for no reason at all. And I don't even know why I would judge them for whatever it was that they were doing. I guess maybe it was because they were a little bit different than I was. And anytime you meet people who are a little bit different or maybe even weird, you can automatically judge them without even knowing them. But that's not love. And so I got a question to ask. How are you using your freedoms? Are you using them to love, or are you using them to judge? And the opposite of loving someone is destroying them. And when you're destroying someone, it's hard to build them up. It's also hard to build a relationship with them. And so I got another question to ask you. What are some ways you can start encouraging someone? Encouraging someone means that you're in their corner. You're standing up for them when you need to, or when they need you. And sometimes it's hard to encourage when you haven't been encouraged. So instead of making other people feel like how you felt when no one encouraged you, why don't you try encouraging them? So here's the bottom line. Our goal is to love others, not judge others. So let's land this plane. I have a fire question for you, but I need to read it off of my page here just to make sure that I don't mess this up because it's so good. And the question is, what is one reason judging others is sometimes easier than loving them? Fire. I know. So I just want to leave you with this. It was great being with you this week. And I hope to see you later on this week. Don't forget, subscribe to B7 TV. We got some awesome things coming your way. And again, so great to have you with us. And we'll see you soon. What would you do for your perfect weekend? Me? My perfect weekend?